Hej, hej, witam wszystkich. Chciałbym podziękować za wszystkie subskrypcje, łapki, komentarze. Bardzo dziękuję wam. I między odcinkami troszkę polatałem. Zwiedziłem tutaj. Troje mamy 7/8, fauny mamy 6/9. I cechy też mamy. Przy okazji znalazłem statek. To jest magazynowy floty, tak? Najlepsze było to, że 5 piratów leżało obok statku już zabitych. I to zrobili jakieś zwierzaki. Tylko było 3 pilotów w środku, no także pozbyłem się pilotów i przejąłem statek. I najlepsze jest to, że ma osłonę ładowni 190. Czyli można przewozić kontraband, może się uda. To nie jest powiedziane, że nie zostanie wykryte, jak bo są jeszcze do tego umiejętności i tak dalej. No ale może się udać. I też było do zadania potrzebny statek ich. To chyba... ja nie pamiętam, jaka to była misja. A mało ważne. To tam. Także... jest troszkę lepszy, bo ma 140 paliwa. 50. Możemy dalej skakać i tak dalej. Ładowność też ma troszkę większą. Tylko że nie ma nic w środku. Żadnego laboratorium, niczego. No i najgorsze jest to, że 3 pilotów, co zabiłem w środku, oni cały czas tam są. Nie znikają. Te ciała tam cały czas są i nie idzie się ich pozbyć. No ale to mało ważne, lecimy z zadaniem drobne. Musimy trochę level podnieść. Gramy na trudnym poziomie i często zmieniam zadania, bo planety mają poziomy i czasem jak nas wyrzuci, to jest właśnie pierwszy poziom, tak to jest napisane, pierwszy poziom, to chwilowo będę kręcił się tu w tej okolicy, nie wiem czy wszystko będę nagrywał, ale będę tu zwiedzał dość długo. Tak fabularnie gdzieś, nie jestem pewny, gdzieś tu na 10 chyba poziom, czy 15 wyrzuciło, także no chwilowo polecimy z drobnymi zadaniami, tak żeby level postaci sobie podnieść. Jak sprawdzałem, żeby przeżyć, to te 2 poziomy większe mogą być od postaci na planecie. Czyli jeżeli tutaj mamy 15, na przykład 13 poziom, jak będziemy mieli postaci, to jesteśmy w stanie tam przeżyć. Coś tam zdziałać, a w innym wypadku już nie. Po prostu wystrzelamy się z wszystkiego i siebie przeskamy. Także lecimy z tematem. A, odkryłem je tutaj, że lasery prawą.
UC security personnel are good people, and Sergeant Yumi just happens to be an old friend.
Już skończyłaś? Prawym przyciskiem myszy kierujemy wiązką. Na celowniku się przesuwają. Maksymalnie jak się przytrzymy go, to ta broń zadaje chyba największe obrażenie. Tak z zwierzakami tutaj walczyłem, to no to było najlepsze. No także najlepsza broń. Chwilą obecną.
Well, hello. You hear about the job by any chance? The officer over there can help you with any bounty issues.
No i tak mamy dość roboty, ale przyda nam się praca.
Part-time security officer. The position's very flexible. You can basically work whenever you're available. No pressure. We've had some gaps in the schedule lately. Macy's out on maternity leave. Jose's on loan to Sidonia. When it rains, it pours type of situation. So really, we just need someone to fill the void. Interested? Well, first things first, I have to ask, do you have any security experience at all? It sure counts for something. I mean, you're alive, and resilience is definitely an important trait for any officer. Well, I think I've heard all I need. Your first assignment couldn't be easier. Go to Mast and check in with Agent Plato at Aegis. There was a package left at a dead drop, and they need UC security to handle it. He'll fill you in on the details. You know, MAST, the Military, Administrative, and Scientific Triumvirate. Giant building in the center of the city? Headquarters of the entire United Colonies? I really should have given you a more thorough interview.
Nie za bardzo wiedział, co powiedzieć.
Aegis? They're basically UC intelligence. They help identify threats to New Atlantis before they become problems. While we're separate departments, there are times we need to rely on each other, so it's important to keep a good working relationship. We do Agent Plato this favor, and maybe he'll toss us some intel when an investigation stalled. Tit for tat. You know how it works. Well, just because you're bringing it here doesn't mean that's where it'll end up. As for why, you can ask Aegis. As far as I'm concerned, it's none of my business. Let me know if you have any questions.
No to co, idziemy, tak?
Yeah?
Tak, tak, idziemy, idziemy. On na dole jest. Nie wiedziałem, że to nawet winda jest. O! No idziemy. Dzień dobry. Panie agencie. Ale ja nie chcę za biurkiem siedzieć. Nie dostaniesz pracy.
Excuse me.
Tak.
Okay, 10% increase in accuracy. Hope it's enough for Commander Mitchell.
Nie wiem, o co chodziło,
I
ale...
hope you're not here to report something. The fewer people there are thinking about Aegis on a daily basis, the easier my job is.
A nie jest? Siedzisz tu i... To się może
We're the
wypytamy.
intelligence arm of the United Colonies. Think of it this way. UC security responds to threats. It's Aegis's job to anticipate and prevent them. No. My parents would never have been so presumptuous. Every agent who joins Aegis gets to choose a pseudonym, pending approval, of course. I chose this for myself when I signed on. I have, of course, since learned that I am not nearly as smart as I thought I was as a younger man. I suppose none of us are.
Czemu ty stoisz plecami do mnie?
I'm the acting head of Aegis, the intelligence division here in Mast. I oversee all our active projects and agents in the field, and I'm afraid that's about as much detail as I can give you. All you really need to know is that we're here to serve and we're the good guys. Our main priority is the safety and security of the citizens and assets of the United Colonies, wherever they may be. We keep an eye on, well, everything.
Proszę pewnie w tym stylu. Proszę, że mi nie powie, ile jest. No, ale...
That's a level of detail I can't get into. Don't worry. We've got plenty of good people working hard. That is a word that has been used, both for good and ill, to describe us at times. Well, you're certainly entitled to that opinion, and there are plenty of others who share it. We'll be looking out for you just the same. Ah, right. You're Sergeant Yumi's recruit. You're taller than I expected. Oh, it wasn't a compliment. Just an observation. In any case, let me fill you in. We have a dead drop that we think has been compromised. So I'd like someone from UC Security to handle the pickup instead. Take the package back to Sergeant Yumi, and he'll check it in as evidence before it gets routed back to Aegis. Well, I told the sergeant that anyone hired for this job should get my stamp of approval first. Nothing personal. It's just this sort of work isn't part of your normal detail. We think non-UC affiliated groups have their eye on it, and are using it to identify field agents. Normally, we just burn the location, but we didn't get this intel until after the drop. So we're going to need non-Aegis personnel to do the pickup to cover our tracks. Take the NAT to the spaceport. There should be a Galbank ATM right next to the station. The package is taped under one of the benches. Grab it and deliver it to Sergeant Yumi and the job's done.
Co tam jest?
You really should know better than to ask for classified intel. What is this, your first day on the job? Don't worry, I'm just giving you a hard time. I still can't tell you what's in the package, though.
Dobrze, że tak spytałem.
Good luck with the mission.
Żeby nie było, że za chwilę ja pójdę siedzieć za was. Za nic. No pewnie tak będziemy wysyłani teraz po jakieś paczuszki, tak? Sara, ty biegnij za nami. Nie zdążyła na czukcia. A, faktycznie jest tu przyklejone, no. To jest handel jakiś. Nie ma kitu, pójdę siedzieć.
You hear about that missing ship?
How's the Still have questions? Go ahead and ask. Nicely done. It's really hard to find good help these days. That being said, my luck seems to be turning around. We've gotten a lot of new personnel as of late, not just you. Who knew all I had to do was put up a sign? Oh yeah, once I had a recruit who was basically bred to be UC security. I mean, his favorite book was our training manual. He knew every rule, every procedure, and on top of that was a pinpoint marksman. But he lacked exactly what you are talking about. Initiative. He ended up transferring to a desk job after a year. Anyway, here's your payment. And if I have any more work for you, I'll let you know.
2,5 tysiąca za takie coś? Ej, no dawajcie więcej takich paczuszek. Może jeszcze coś?
If it isn't my favorite part-time security officer. I've got nothing at the moment, but come back later, and I might have something for you. It's a lot of work, as always. People like to say, New Atlantis is the safest city in the settled systems. How hard could your job be? Well, safety doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people. Take care.
No dobrze. No hej. Nie, nie kradniemy. Chwilowo. Tak, idziemy się zgłosić. Najlepsze jest to, że możemy właśnie być w każdej frakcji i wypełniać właśnie zadania.
Can I help?
Póki to będzie zadanie, to... Dlaczego tak to myli? Muszę się chyba zastanowić, gdzie mam pokazać. Przykro mi, nie zdążyła znowu do windy. Imię, nazwisko kandydata. Zjednoczonych kolonii. Zgadzasz się, doświadczyć konieczne usługi na... Co może narazić cię na chore niebezpieczne. Skutkuje obrażeń ciała lub uszkodzenie statku, mogącym nawet prowadzić do... do śmierci. Coś mi nie pasowało. Tego jakoś nie zauważyłem. Zamiast Gwardii kolonii zgadza się w wynagrodznikach zgodnie z ich poziomem zespołu. Dobra, to takie zdety. Zgadzamy się. A jak mam zbadać? Nie, że zbadam, tylko że nie wiemy co.
In 2150, humanity learned the Earth's magnetosphere would collapse sometime in the next half century, eliminating all life on the planet. Decisive action was required, but the secure transport of an entire civilization would demand a new kind of cooperation, a new kind of courage, and a new kind of union. Thus, in 2159, the United Colonies were formed to make that journey possible. Just 1 year later, the Galileo, the first of many colony ships, touched down here on Jemison, beginning a new era of human history, the age of the United Colonies.
The effort and planning it must have taken to evacuate literally the entire planet. Can you imagine? The logistics alone must have been mind-boggling.
Dlaczego to tak ciemno jest? A nie, już nie ma. A, to muszę kończyć ten przesłuchać, tak? Okej.
From their foundation, the United Colonies strove to provide all their citizens with opportunity, security, and peace. But there were those among the UC that still wanted something more. Independence. So in 2161, the UC issued the Centaurus Proclamation, granting UC citizens the right to settle distant worlds and form their own sovereign powers. It wasn't long before the first new faction, the Free Star Collective, was formally organized in 2188, later followed by House Varun, revealing themselves to the universe in 2230.
The result of the Centaurus proclamation has always left me torn. So much conflict arose as a result. Was it worth it?
It was only in 2230 that the faction known as House Varun first made contact with the rest of the settled systems. Founded by the passengers of a colony ship that had left New Atlantis and disappeared 4 decades earlier, House Varun was a faction unlike any other. A theocracy dedicated wholly to the beliefs of its isolationist founder, Jinan Varun. House Varun initially made overtures of peace towards the rest of the settled systems. They claimed their only intention was to spread the word of their god, the Great Serpent. But none could have guessed that this worship might take the form of a bloody war, the Serpent's Crusade. The Freestar Collective was initially founded in 2188, when the citizens of Aquila banded together with the pleasure city of Neon in mutual defense. But in 2194, after the deployment of a UC medical star station in orbit around their world, the citizens of Narion also requested to join the collective. The resulting rise in tensions between the Freestar Collective and UC culminated in the settled system's first intergalactic conflict, the Narion War. Despite a decisive victory by the UC, the colonies permitted the citizens of Narion to join the collective, forming the basis for the fiercely independent union that persists to this day.
Okay.
Beginning in 2240, House Varun forces declared all out war on the rest of human civilization, initiating the Serpent's Crusade. Over the next 23 years, thousands of Freestar, UC, and independent souls were killed by agents of House Varun in the name of their serpent god. It was only with the death of their founder in 2263 and the succession of his heir Jarek that House Varun finally sued for peace. There remains, however, select members of House Varun who refuse to recognize the cessation of hostilities their leaders established. Even after House Varun's mysterious disappearance, these zealots remain a threat to all who encounter them. Their pacification, a goal of all space. Of the many conflicts between the galaxy's factions, none was more brutal than the recent colony war between the UC and the Freestar Collective. Set off by the unauthorized Freestar colonization of Vesta's Pride in 2308, a direct violation of the Narion Treaty, the colony war spread quickly across the galaxy. Both sides deployed every tool at their disposal. Armadas of warships, mechanized combat platforms, or mechs. Even bioengineered alien creatures, the infamous UC xeno-weapons. It was only in 2311 at the Battle of Cheyenne the scales finally tipped. The Freestar Collective, utilizing their civilian fleet as a human shield, successfully crippled the superior United Colonies Navy. After their shocking victory against the galaxy's greatest navy, the Freestar Collective offered terms of peace, which the colonies, out of an interest in staving off any further human costs, accepted. The galaxy has been rebuilding ever since.
The colony war was a horrible conflict that irreparably wounded the settled systems. were times I felt that it would never end.
Tak, zawsze chodzi o władzę i o pieniądze.
Few settled worlds were left untouched by the colony war. But nowhere could the viciousness of modern warfare be seen more clearly than on the free star planet of Nira. Initially occupied by invading United Colonies forces as a forward operating position, repeated attempts to take and retake the planet by collective forces led only to devastation. Swaths of the world were transformed into scorched husks, a nightmarish testament to the depths of human ingenuity and human cruelty. And today, Nira remains a continuing reminder to the horrors of unfettered war.
I bring her here almost every day to stare at this thing.
One of my slates said terramorphs can control people's minds. But that can't be true.
In the midst of the colony war, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies war effort, Londinian found itself overrun by one of the galaxy's most mysterious predators, the Terramorph. A rare but pervasive threat to all human-settled worlds, Terramorphs swept over the city, seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in recorded history. Valiant efforts by the UC military slowed the onslaught, but the creatures proved unstoppable. Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the Londinian spaceport, sealing off the city, the outbreak, and its citizenry from the galaxy at large. The tragedy of Londinian is mourned by the UC to this day.
No to troszkę dzisiaj będzie historii, tak?
After the devastation brought by the colony war, the UC and the Freestar Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as the Armistice. Both sides agreed to a vast reduction in standing forces, and that xeno-weapons and mech warfare would be outlawed. All related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency. But the Collective had another demand, that the active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions. The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In 2311, 3 United Colonies senior officers were found guilty. Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Ve Victus. All were sentenced to death for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning peace to the galaxy at long last.
I was a strong supporter of the armistice. All of the terrible weapons that both sides used against one another. It had to end.
It was into this new world that the Vanguard was born. An official branch of the UC Navy, the Vanguard is the United Colonies Volunteer Fleet, serving a myriad of security, logistical, and reconnaissance roles. And after a sufficient length of service, UC citizenship is guaranteed to every Vanguard member. open to all captains, regardless of origin. The Vanguard is leading the charge to protect and support the citizens of the United Colonies, wherever in the galaxy they may be. No one is born a United Colony citizen. Only through service to the UC can one hope to earn one's citizenship. But the UC prides itself on taking care of its people. Cost of living controls mean citizens pay less than their foreign counterparts for needs big and small. All citizens are issued a grant upon joining to get themselves on their feet. And only UC citizens have the opportunity to purchase property, getting the chance to live in one of the most beautiful cities in the settled systems. By joining the Vanguard today, you too can begin earning your place here, in the heart of galactic civilization, as a citizen of the United Colonies.
Że nam nie zaliczyło, czy co? Minąłem. O.
Welcome, applicant, to the piloting simulation chamber. Please enter the designated simulation.
I've spent a fair bit of time in simulators just like these. They're startlingly realistic. Have fun.
Ah, you must be our new applicant. I'm Proctor Samuelson. The simulator's already been prepped. You can head in whenever you're ready. The simulator is designed to be a near-perfect replica of a Class B Deimos hoplite, the United Colony's standard destroyer model. It's been tuned to provide a challenging but fair fight against the enemy squadrons you'll encounter inside. While I can't answer that question directly, I will say this. Due to the solitary nature of our work, resourcefulness is a critical tool in any Vanguard pilot's repertoire. You're permitted, even encouraged, to use whatever tool you're able to find in there. Of course, you'll be running through a high-realism combat flight simulation, engineered by members of the UC science staff, right here in Mast. Your task is to defeat at least 3 tiers of simulated opponents. Accomplish that, and you pass the exam, and can then proceed on to your probationary mission. However, if you defeat more than 3 tiers of enemies, your required enlistment time for citizenship will be reduced, and your enlistment bonus increased. But you're welcome to try as many times as you like before returning to Commander Tuala to proceed on to the next step in your application process. We'll only keep the highest score you manage to achieve in there. Just head in whenever you're ready.
Zapisanie, razie to. Nie wiadomo co to będzie.
This is the Mark 18 flight simulation chamber applicant, currently in orbit around a high-detail recreation of a remote world. When you're ready to begin, please take a seat in the pilot's chair.
New targets active.
Dalej ładujemy. No już nie. Już nam pościągał wszystko, tak?
Congratulations, applicant. You've defeated sufficient opponents to pass the exam. You may now exit the simulator through the hatch to record your current score, or stay and try your hand at the remaining tiers. Resuming the examination.
New targets active.
Oh shit. No co, jedziemy jeszcze dalej? O nie.
New targets active.
At least try to defeat us.
Simulation. You have passed, applicant.
Dobra, nie ma co dalej.
To log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Nie, to się nie da. Jeden wysoki poziom teraz.
Congratulations, applicant. You've passed. You can head up to Commander Tuwala to receive your final results and your probationary assignment. Or you're welcome to take another run at the simulation if you'd like to try and earn a better score. We'll only keep your best run.
way. Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. There, he's got some.
Well, look who's back. Everything go all right with the exam? Did you have some questions you needed answered first? Ah, so these are your numbers that just came through then. You ready to hear how you did? Then let's get to them. So, looking at the data, hit every mural in the orientation hall, huh? A test of preparation and thoroughness. 2 traits the Vanguard values highly. Psychological results are all within expected levels. Navy doesn't have room for folks that'll fall apart the first time they're trying to outrun a homing missile. Now, how'd you do against your foes? Tier 4, not too shabby. The techs make us test each level of the sim too. I can tell you that wave are some real artificial bastards. Good job putting them away.
Hell of a job. I might even let you fly me around sometime.
So then, looking at your results as a whole, and presuming you're successful in completing your probationary mission, you could have your UC citizenship after only 10 years service. Pretty standard for combat assignments. But your performance in the simulator does mean I can offer a signing bonus. Help convince you to join the cause.
10 years might seem like a long time, but it's worth the climb if you wish to become a citizen.
So, sounds to me like we've got Vanguard material on our hands. If you're interested, we could bring you on as a provisional member today. Get you the credits you've earned, then send you out on your probationary mission. First, though, all UC service people, provisional or otherwise, are required to swear an oath. So, you want to make this official? Commit yourself to the cause of the colonies?
It's a big decision. John, you're not about to have my compatriot here sign some kind of contract that sells you their grandmother 5 years down the line, are you?
Officer's honor, Sarah. This is honest work for honest credits. So, you ready to do the deed? Fantastic. Then just follow me.
Something you need?
Zależy, gdzie chcesz iść ze mną. Bo ja z tobą, czy to jak tam. Aha,
Wouldn't be right doing this where we couldn't see the stars. Now, raise your right hand. The motto of the Vanguard is Supra et Ultra, above and beyond. That is where we serve, beyond the furthest reaches of the United Colonies military, and with honor and duty above reproach. Do you swear to protect and defend the citizens of the United Colonies to the best of your abilities, and to uphold the values of the Vanguard, honor, loyalty, self-reliance in all your actions as a member of the United Colonies Navy?
Ale nic nie było o kradzieży, tak? Czy
Then
przysięgam?
let me be the first to officially welcome you to the United Colonies Vanguard. Now, only thing left is getting you that probationary mission. And what I've got is comms repair. Group trying to refurb an old colony war processing plant on Tau Ceti 2. Sounds like they'd barely gotten set up when their communications died. Place is as isolated as they come. So Brass wants a Vanguard to deliver the repair suite and ensure anyone present is safe and secure. So, can the people of Tau Ceti 2 count on you? No major settlements on Tau Ceti. No real active industry either. Doesn't make for a big target. It's got the potential to be a pretty quiet trip. But there's a reason they wrote, "Here be dragons" on the map edge. So if it were me, I'd hope for the best and arm for the worst. And if for some reason you do run into trouble, don't forget, it's your job to protect those who need it. So, you ready to head out?
Pewnie.
That's
tak.
the spirit.
Trochę
Head down to
ten
the
poziom
spaceport and
jest,
talk
bo
to
nie
Crew
wiem.
Chief Harath. He'll get you the repair suite plus your new recruit kit. Oh, and your advance. Give it your all out there. Supra et Ultra.
Ale to już w następnym odcinku. No, cześć, cześć.